Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make what I am calling an extra explosion pop-up card. I've only seen one video showing how to make this and the lady called it explosion pop-up card, but I believe I've used that for the original part of this card. There's something extra added to this and I haven't seen anybody else making it, and I did do a really good search through YouTube. I couldn't find anything, so unless somebody has called it by a different name, I think this lady is probably the only one. I will put the link to her video in the box below. Right, okay, so this is my test card, which is always the one I do to find out what works, what doesn't work, etc. And what happens is when you open this up, it opens up like that. Now I have done this bit, but I haven't done one with these bits here, which is why I'm adding the extra on it. It's like it's got extra wings on the side here. Now I think this is absolutely fabulous. So yeah, one thing to notice is this little die here. I've used it on the next card and I'm just trying different things, give you different ideas. And this one, it's one die that cuts both those pieces out, and on this one I've used both pieces of the white. On the next one, the outside, I've used the colour of the main cardstock. So watch out for that bit coming up. And also on this one, what I did was, because this was my first one, I didn't know quite how it was going to pan out, but I used my round, small circle punch to cut out a little finger step there. I also added some little arrows which I die cut using a retired set of dies called Give It a Whirl. But this card has been closed for quite a long time and these are still popping up, so I don't think it needs that on there. Okay, on the back I've also done that. Bit of glue there needs to come off. So my just before video card is this one. Before I show you this, you'll see there's something shining on the ribbon. This is another bit of an experiment that I'm doing. Because my cards get opened and closed a lot, not only during making a video, photographing and all of that, but also when I try selling my cards, they get opened and closed, and this finishes up getting really frayed. So I'm trying to see whether, but by doing that and then just cutting off when I actually sell the card or use the card, which I may well do, hopefully the ribbon won't keep getting shorter and shorter as I cut off the frayed bits. So this is the card. Now this one, on this one here, as I said, I used all of the white, but I put the pink around the edge. This is Pretty in Pink that I've used here. And I've also put this on a slant, so as you open the card, it's facing the correct way. I don't really think there is a correct way in this card because of how it's worked. But again, it's another idea for you. I will just show you the stamp sets and the dies I'm using. The Designer Series paper comes from Unbound Beauty, and the stamp set goes with the same set. This is Flowers of Beauty, and I'm using this one and this one, this and this, and this is two-step stamping. So what I've done is I stamped my flowers with Berry Burst, and then with that one there, and then with the colour I inked up this stamp with Berry Burst, but I stamped it off once, so I stamped in the middle and it became a lot lighter. And I did exactly the same with the leaves, because that's the outline, that's the colour, and I used Summer Splash for the outline, inked that one with Summer Splash, stamped it off once and then did it, and to me it's just absolutely beautiful. I love all the effects that you get with the spaces, which creates dimension and shadow and everything. This is a set of dies that comes with it, and they're the two that I've used, but this is a complete set of everything that's on there. During this month, June 2024, Stampin' Up are running a special promotion where they're offering an extra 10% off if you buy a bundle, which is a stamp set and a set of dies, and this refers to all the dies and stamp sets bundles that are in the current annual catalogue. Okay, so because you already get 10% off this, you'll be getting an extra 10% in June, so you're more or less getting 20% off. Depends which way Stampin' Up actually do this, whether they will take 10% off of the reduced price or whether they take 20% off of the original full price. If they do the first one, taking the extra 10% off the bundle price, then you get 19% discount. But at the moment, I don't know quite how they're working that. Other dies that I'm using is for the front here, this one, which I've used for my previous 2 dies as well. I really love that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And for the die that's here, I've been using this little die here, which comes with Unbounded Love. I didn't buy the stamp set that goes with this because I think it's all sentiments, and I didn't want that. I just love all of these kinds of things, especially when they fit inside each other, and to me these are just so gorgeous. Really love them. Okay, so that was Unbounded Love, and I'm using a retired stamp set for It's Your Day, which is a bit there, and Happy Birthday, which I've stamped on the front there. Okay, so they're all the stamp sets and dies that I'm using. Let's pop that over there, and I'm going to start telling you the card pieces, card and dies, cardstock and design series paper that you'll be needing. So I'm doing a white background, and my layers are going to be in Berry Burst. Before I move on, I'd like to say that the middle layer there, that pinky colour there, and also the bluey colour there. Don't know if you can see that is not straightforward cardstock. That's it, yeah, you can see it. I'm trying to use up some of my specialty paper, and that's what that was. And this one is from a packet that I've had for I don't know how long, and it's this. I don't know if you have any of this. This is the colour that I've used. Quite matte on one side, but on the other side it's shiny. And I've got these other colours as well. Okay, so if you've got any leftover specialty paper, you want an idea how to use it, do check it when you're doing your layers. An advantage of these two on that design is because it's quite a thick card anyway, so it does help to thin it out a bit. And also our white cardstock, I believe, is thinner than our regular cardstock, so using this with a regular coloured cardstock, I think that helps to thin it out as well. But they're all three will be slightly different thicknesses. Right, enough waffling, let's go on. Right, the main piece of card is basic white, and it's 11.5 inches by 4.25 inches. All measurements at the moment, as always, are A4 inches. I will do A4 centimetres and also letter size inches, and they'll all be in the box below the video. So that was our first piece. Then we have for the explosion bit, basic white, and that measures 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And then the two bits I'm calling the wings, the extra flaps on the card, basic white, and they measure 2 3/4 inches by 3.25 inches. You need 2 of those. Yep, I will put those down, won't get those muddled up. And then you need 4 pieces of Berry Burst, and these are for the layers for the outside and the inside of the card, and they should be 4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then on the other side you need 4 pieces of designer series paper. This one I'm calling Design 1, and you need 4 pieces that measure 3 7/8 inches by 5.25 inches. Obviously I've done this to save us a little bit of time. And then you need 4 pieces of Berry Burst, and these should measure 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And on these, 2 of them should have Design 1, which is the design that I'm using on the outside and the main inside, and they should measure 2 3/8 inches by 2 3/8 inches. This one is what I'm calling design 2, again 2 3/8 inches by 2 3/8 inches. And then you need 2 more pieces of berry burst, which measure 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. Oh, I didn't give you those, did I? And for the 2 plain pieces of berry burst, you need another design. This is design 3, and these should measure 2 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so top layers 2 3/8 by, that's right, yep, that's good. And then you need 2 of these. I've shown this in the previous 2 videos, how I do this. One of them I've already adhered together, again, just to save a bit of time. So we're going to start off with doing some scoring. Okay, so let's, hopefully you've got all of that, but they will be in the box below. So I'm going to use my trimmer. Oops. Make sure I get myself in the screen. Right, so on the 11.5 by 4 1/4 piece, we are going to score at 5 5/8. Okay, 5 5/8. Make sure your cutting blade is out of the way. And then by 5 7/8. So that's going to give just a little 1/8 of an inch spine for our card because of the thickness. Now on this one, you need to score at 2 3/4 inches on both sides. Double check that. 2 3/4, yes. So that's one. Turn it 90 degrees and then 2 3/4 again. And then you need to do diagonally, corner to corner, on just one direction. And before you close this down, make sure that your scoring blade is in the middle of your card. If you bring it down onto either of your points, you may make them pucker up. Okay, so there's that one. And then for the 2 wings, you need the long side. Okay, you've got 2 pieces. You want them long side, which is this one, and then score them at 1/2 inch each. Half an inch I said, didn't I? Right, okay, so it's 1/2 inch. Right. Now on these, where you've got your score line up the top there, just cut a very small amount off of the corner there. Let me just get my silicone mat so I can show you the bit that I cut off. Okay, so a very small amount. Alright, so you can see that bit, and just do that on both corners on both pieces. Okay, not all equal, but that's not going to spoil your card. Now we are going to fold and burnish on all of our score lines. That's 1, 2. Now on the main card, when you fold this over, make sure it's folding really nice and straight. There's that one. and then we fold the next one. There we go. So your card will be like that. Okay. And then this one, we're going to fold on the straight lines, making sure it all lines up beautifully straight. I'm not sure what that is, so I wonder if that is dirt. We will soon find out. No, that looks like ink. Okay, so that's one. Let's fold the other way. And then fold on the diagonal line. There we go. So what should happen is, if you can gently fold that back, doesn't need to be creased on that one, and then just fold that up like that, and that is your mechanism for inside your card. Okay. And now what we need to do is, with your diagonal line going that way, I've got mine sitting by the side of me so I don't make a mistake, and take one of your wings and you need to glue it on there. And when you fold it over, on the side that is slightly out, because you've got to fold this over. Okay, so let's start that one again. This has got to fold here, and then once it's in position, this has all got to fold up like this. Okay, so you will see that that comes out a bit. So what I do is I actually cut that bit off on the wing. Okay, so it's on that top side there. I've got some glue on that. Okay, so top side. And all I'm doing is I'm going to line this up so that it comes onto this brown line here on my printer. Okay, and once it's gone onto that, I make it go over very, very slightly. Okay, so I can still see some of my brown there, and if I can bring that up for you to see without closing it down. Okay, so that's where I'm going to slice it off, just that little bit there. That did move very slightly. Oops, don't score it. There we go. Okay, so that's the narrow bit that I've taken off. And let me just cut that little bit off. Yeah, it went a little bit hairy. And then I am going to cut a tad off of the end that is opposite to the fold. Okay. Again, I'm going to go right up to that brown mark and just go over it very slightly. Okay, so that can go. Now keep that up that way. In fact, what I'm going to do is, if I can see a pencil somewhere, yes I can. Now I'm just going to put on here that way. Now that's okay because that's going to be covered up. So now the other one is going to be coming on this one here. and it's going to be coming like this. And when you get that to fit into that crease there, and you fold it, you'll find that comes out at the top very slightly. Not sure you see that. I think that's stopping it from going. Yes, you can see that, can't you? Yeah. Okay. So I am going to take a tiny bit off of the top here, which will effectively be the bottom of it, won't it? Methinks. Okay, so that's there. And that one. Again, it makes that go a bit messy. And then I'm going to take a little tad off of this one, which is the opposite end of that fold. And again, very tiny. This isn't like a 1/16 of an inch, so I can't give her measurements for it. But it really is what I call a tad. Okay, absolute tad. Right, that I think is all we need our trimmer for now. So we can start putting our card together. So this was the other one, wasn't it? So that's up there. So this is going to be the top. Let's just do a gentle pencil mark on there. I don't think I'm going to get confused with this, but no telling with me. I don't know where these bits of glue keep coming from. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. I'm going to use Tombow. You could use tear and tape if you like, or seal. And I'm going very easy with this Tombow because it's a new one. Okay, so line it all up. And once you've got it in place, make sure that that will close okay, and make sure that will close okay. Well, I can see that's going to, because I can see the gap down there, so that's good. Okay, this part of the card won't be shown, so that's still going up right, that's good. And then this one's got to go here, and my arrow's still going up right, yes. But they're not interchangeable, no. You have to remember which one's which. Either that, or you just remove your pencil mark. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. Make sure it fits up to that line. The fold will want to come over the line. Make sure that that goes down nicely. And then you will see you've got a gap all the way around there for this to fit into when your card is closed. This is going to be my best card now, because I didn't go to that trouble with it previously. Okay, so we've got this. So now we're going to start putting our card together. And while I'm doing that, I can have a quick little chat with you. Let me just make sure which way these designs are. One thing to remember is this card is definitely better made with non-directional patterns, and I'll give you an example of that later. And this is a good example where you look at it and you think, actually that looks better going that way, because I keep looking at all these, what I call stamens with the pollen on them. All right, there are more going that way than coming down that way, so that's the right way. That's up, down, down, three down. Everybody else is just going up, aren't they? We've got 1, 2 down there. Not that I doubt if any recipient would notice anything like this. But I just like to try and get it right. Right, okay, while I'm doing this, I would like to say a huge thank you, a really, really huge thank you to everybody who sponsored hubby and I when we did our charity walk last Sunday in aid of Cancer Research UK. I had actually booked up for the 3K walk, but I decided that between the time from when I did book for the walk and the time when actually doing the walk, I had made so much progress that I upgraded to the 4K walk. And I'm really pleased I did, because 3K really would not have been much of a challenge at all. But the 5K was a nice challenge. I struggled in the last bit, but not so much of a struggle where I thought, oh, I really shouldn't be doing this. It was a nice struggle in as much as I'm glad I've done this. I couldn't have done any more. And obviously it was a lot easier for hubby to do. We went with a couple of friends as well, and our friends I don't like saying other people's names on screen, on videos, but I will do. It's Tina. Her name is Tina. She won't mind, I'm sure. Tina is excellent at walking, and she's a very, very quick walker. Her partner's not quite so quick, and I think it was a bit of a struggle for him. Possibly more than a struggle than it was for me. But, you know, a lot of the time we kept each other company. Tina had her dog with her, and he really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great day out for the four of us. There we go. So that's all that bit done. What I've done is, that is the same direction as that, but that one I've turned around that way. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now this one, you do your designs whichever way you like. I do design one there and there, design two there and there, and then I'm going to show you how to do the triangle ones. It's very easy. I've changed the measurements for them so that I know it's going to work. Now when you come to the small pieces like this, if you cut the wrong part out of a non-directional design, you could actually finish up where the bit that you've picked, it all does actually look upside down. Like this piece here, if I turned that round any other which way, that would definitely have looked upside down because the stamens are all going upwards. Don't know whether you agree with me on that. Let's turn that one round that way. And I can see another job that I need to do. One of these things that really drives me round the bend. This is the piece where we cut, and it's left that cut bump. I don't really know what to call it, but it's where the underside of the blade goes through. It's not the top part. It's not the bit where the blade hits last. It is the bit that the blade hits last. It just seems to push all the paper downwards. I'm sure there's a lot far better words I could have used to explain that. I don't think this matters which way it goes round. But my third design for the triangles, it does matter. I do need the trimmer back again, don't I? Now these are smaller than the others because they're going to be cut in half. Now this is a directional pattern, and when you do these you must make sure that you do them both the same way. I don't know whether to show you a bit where it can go wrong or whether I just finish up confusing you. I wish you could shout out and let me know. This is the only advantage that I can think of doing Facebook Lives. Personally, I don't like them. But... Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my post-it paper, and being quite frugal, I'm going to cut it in half. Put that one there. So let me make sure I'm in screen again. Well, if I say I'm in screen, you don't need to see this bit, but I need to get back into the habit of always checking, because I know part of the video last week wasn't very good. It's amazing how much I have forgotten in the 20 months I've been away. Now before you close this down, make sure your cutting blade is over this. As I said before, you don't want to cut straight through the corners. Get that over your cardstock. There's that. Now with these, I'm going to keep them in the same direction. In fact, what I'll do... No, I won't do them both at the same time. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them so that my lines are horizontal, and I'm going to turn it clockwise, okay? Make sure my blade is over the designer series paper. Okay, so I've got, am I still in screen there? Let's move over a bit. So these are my two pieces. Now bear in mind, remember this is horizontal, just like that was horizontal, and I'm turning it clockwise. Now this only matters if your design is a directional design. Okay, now they're all going the same direction. Yep, that's right. Now this is another piece that I had. Now just supposing I did this the wrong way, what would happen? Now, two reasons for doing this. One is to demonstrate to you the difference that it does make, and secondly, I might actually use it if it goes the wrong way. So those two I did with my design horizontal. So this time I'm going to try my design vertical, and I'm going to turn that clockwise. Okay, so this is really, I think, the other way round. If it isn't, then I'm going to be starting this video again. Okay. There we go, yes I am right, it does go the other way round. Okay, so that's that one. I've got 4 going that way and 2 going that way. You probably can't see that, can you? Let me move that out of the way. You've got 2 going like that, and then 2 going the other way. Okay, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Okay, so that's what happens if you don't watch what you're doing with diagonal patterns. Let's leave that there. So now I'm going to adhere these together. I'll do 2 of the right ones first, I think. So this is me doing a bit of an experiment on camera. Right, so okay, so as you can see, by changing those measurements slightly, this layers properly. In fact, no, thinking about it, I've decided I'm going to stick to the 4 correct ones. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I use the wrong ones, like those 2, it may look like I have actually made a mistake rather than chose to do it like that. Again, what do you think? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. So there we go, that one. Where do you let go? There we go. In fact, I know what I can do. Thinking doesn't stop. Right, now if I bring my card over, so this is what it looks like when it's correct. So what I could do with the ones that go the other way, I could have one like that. That would look right, wouldn't it? I could get away with that. Or if I did one on that one and one on that one. As I say, just different ideas. I'm going to stick with what I've done, but I do think that looks quite nice having the 2 on the opposite square the other way round. Okay, so let's do this one. These are my absolute favourite sort of colours, mauves and lilacs, and then on to pinks. I'm definitely not a blue person. She quickly checks to see what she's wearing today. Yeah, blue with lilac, I know. There we go. And then the last one, and the only really tricky bit about this is getting this into your card. Okay, so that one closes nicely, Get in there. There we go. Okay, quite thick, but you know, the card has been made to allow for the thickness in there. So what I'm going to do is make sure I got this up the right way. Make sure I didn't somersault it. Doesn't it? Now I've got myself really confused. I assume I've got it round the right way. But if you haven't, these are upside down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, what did I just knock on the floor there? 1, 2. Oh, that's my tweezers. Okay, right. Now to get this put into your card, it's got to go in this way, so you've got the lines going across that way. So when your card is, your explosion bit is all closed, you need to get this point so it is just under halfway there. And I say just under because you need this to be able to come over and for these to line up. Okay, now what I've been doing, once I've decided where that should be going, I make sure I line these up so that the white triangle goes to the edge of this. It didn't occur to me before, it's just occurred to me while I'm doing this now. That has also got to be straight there, hasn't it? So if that's on, I'll bring that down a bit. Make sure that's straight down. Yeah, what I'm doing is, I'm happy that that is about halfway. And now this and this have got to be on a level as well. So I've put this so that my card is straight down here. And this is lining up with that line. And this is lining up with the same line. Let's have a look. Yep, that's it. They're both lining up the same line. So that's fine. Now, I don't want to move this, but I'm going to put my bone folder just in there to hold that down so that when I bring this over, I've got both hands free and this isn't going to have a chance to move. Okay, so glue on here first. This is one of my arrows getting covered up here. Right, now hold that there. Now what I want to do is bring this over and I want to make sure it lines up. Ah, silly. And that's right. And I just got put my fingers in the glue there. Right, so now, because I can hold that down, bring this over here. Let's come back. Right, I'm just manoeuvring this top piece so that it is lining with the other one underneath. So I'm just slide that out and give that as press. Okay, so this has lined up beautifully around here and around here. Just give that a little bit. So that's that one to turn the card over. And I'm going to do the same. In fact, it would be better if I had a ruler to do this with, but I think a ruler would be too long. So I'm just going that is going in underneath just that top layer. So I can hold it all down. And then bring that over and line it up. Yep, that's good. Okay, so that's the card as it opens up. So that's an arrow, that's an arrow. And that suggests that's the right way round. Okay, that's good, I'm happy with that. Now, this is what I've already made for the back of the card. I've got a bit of wax paper on it because I put glue too far down. But I just thought this would save a little bit of time for us. So all I need to do is take the backing off this double-sided tape. So this is where people can write their greeting on it. Last week I left this bit loose because it was so difficult to try and work on the thickness. but this week, as you can see, it folds flat, so it's not too bad. But I would open the card to actually do it. Let's put a little bit more glue on here. I just put a little bit in the middle there, and this can go on the back. Okay, so this is the back piece. I might have preferred to have done that all in white, looking at that. What do you think? And then we've got the same for the front, but the front I've got to do a bit of stamping on. And the piece of cardstock you need to do this is 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. Right, so I'm using Happy Birthday here. I'm going to stamp it with Berry Burst ink. Just line that up straight against that black line. And then make it straight across there. And I'm going to put some flowers and leaves. I've got loads of these that I did. I always hold these together to see which way I'd like my leaves to go. It really depends on the positioning here. Let me see what I did on this one. Oh, it comes out at the side here. Okay, so just a little bit there to hold to the front. And then I'm going to glue it on there. As I said before, I don't, once I've done such a thick card as this, which I think the last 3 have been, including this one, I don't tend to use dimensionals. There we go. So this one I'm going to stick in the centre, and I do find it easier to do the centre of this framework first because it's solid, whereas the actual frame is quite flexible. Where's my silicone mat? As I've used this frame for all 3 of my recent videos, I'll try and use something different next week. But don't hold your breath. I really do like this. I think it adds so much and so easily. So on here I put 2 flowers, and I used different colours, didn't I? Shall I stick to the same ones for this? There's a nice light one and a dark one. And then that. Okay, let's put this one first. You could leave these plain, or you could do the same as what you've done on the inside, decorate them like that. Oh, don't squash that down before you've done that. Go back there. Okay, let's just do this one first. That's it. Was that my light colour? Yes, it was. You move over a bit, I've gone too far. That's it. And then 2 here. Let's see if we've got light and dark again. There we go. In fact, let's get them glued all at the same time. Maybe that make life a bit easier for me. I want our leaves to go somewhere slightly different, and make sure that goes to the edge. There we go, that's better. Good, like that. Alright, so we've got in here, now this is the sentiment, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to use the white frame or the cream frame, and I decided I prefer this straight as in my first card. Do I want that or do I want that? I think as I've done that on the outside, I'm going to do this on the inside. Make sure, oh, I'm out of screen here, aren't I? Sorry. I don't think you could have seen that when I was talking about whether I wanted white frame or not. So let me show you. That was the white frame or berry burst frame, and I think I'd go for berry burst because that's what I did on the outside, wasn't it? And this is the one I was using. This is going to come out in all of a splodge if I'm not careful. Let's bring it back so you can see what I'm doing. Yes, I think that's better. And then I just did a couple of flowers on the insides. Let's put that in place. I mean, there's no ending to the amount of decorations you could put on here. I won't go back and put any extra on, but obviously I'm trying to keep it a little bit short for the video. Oops, down there. Should we put it down here this time? There we go. And that, I believe, is our card. As I say, you could add more bits to it. Where do you stop? So, as I say, I will put the lady's name and a link to her. Oh, you know what I've forgotten? I know you're all shouting at me, ribbon, you've forgotten the ribbon. Okay, so this is what the card looks like if you don't put ribbon on it, alright? It's another idea for you. Okay, you could go back to what I was saying, I don't know if it was the last video or the previous one, where the card is either going to be in an envelope or it's going to be standing on the side or laying on the side in this case. So does it really need a ribbon? I don't know. Now that I've forgotten to do it, I'm leaving it off. I'm not going to try and fit it on anyway. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Oops. Oh, did I just drop my... No, I didn't. So there we go. And this is another idea if you do remember to put the ribbons on. When you put the ribbon on, it's when you put these 4 big sheets on. Okay? But you may decide to leave it. So let me see, how's this best to get this into the screen for you? If I leave that one like that, and then that's what it's like when it's closed. Okay? So many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you give it a try. If you decide to purchase any of the products that I've used here, they will be in the box below the video, and when you place an order via my online Stampin' Up shop, again, link will be below, please, during June 24, please use that code and I'll be able to send you a free product when I send you my handmade thank you card and handmade thank you gift, which will be in the first half of July. Oh, it may not be actually because I'm on holiday, but it will be July. Anyway, I will try and get myself ahead of myself so I can send it out early. As I say, many thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and also before I go, a very, very special thank you to everybody who sponsored me and my hubby last Sunday. Really very much appreciated. God bless you all. Look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, happy crafting. Cheerio.